Hello, and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. For the regular subscribers, yes, I know it's not September. Sorry about that. I will explain myself in a bit. First, today we are reviewing a fantasy coloring book illustrated by our friend Weblight Dreams. If you weren't aware, yes, she has a coloring book. It's available on Amazon. I will have the purchase link linked down below. Full disclosure, I review books on my blog, and quite often when authors and sometimes coloring book illustrators ask me to review a book, sometimes they'll send me the book for free, sometimes I will buy the book and be compensated. So full disclosure, Weblight Dreams did ask me to review this. I have been compensated. Let's get into it. So first of all, this is printed by Amazon, so it is their matte finish cover, and what I love about this cover, it's pretty common with the Amazon books, but it feels soft. It's not glossy, but it feels soft, almost velvety. Way back when I first discovered G.D. Falkson, I got this novel by him, the first of the Ouroboros cycle, a Monsters Coming of Age story, and this feels that way. It's so nice to hold. And then the sequels were published with a glossy finish and they didn't feel the same, and I was so disappointed. At that point, I had never bought an Amazon printed book, so now I know that that's just the way the industry has gone with these matte finishes. But if you were wondering, that's what it feels like. Front cover, back cover has a preview of some of the illustrations inside and all of her social media information. As we open it up, we have the cover image. We have a beautiful little dedication to her sister. And then we get into the actual coloring pages. I do like the fact that the reverse sides are left blank, and they have the title for the piece you're going to be coloring. That's great because, as you probably know, if you're an artist or a colorist, a lot of the materials we like to use will bleed through the page. I believe some of these were originally YouTube videos on her channel, but some of it was also definitely drawn and created specifically for this book, so some of it I was seeing for the first time when I got this book delivered to me. This one is so cute, the baby griffin, oh my goodness. This one is really intriguing to me. Something I really love about the line work in this book is that there's enough lines, enough detail that if you're only a colorist, if you're not also an artist, you can do a good job with this. There's enough here to know where to color. But if you are also an artist, she's left so much here that you can really add your own flair to it. I love the fact that the shape of the lips is hinted, but it's up to you to decide how full they're going to be, what shape they're going to be, that sort of thing. Guys, in the comments down below, what does Modern Angel here look like? This looks so familiar to me. Like, obviously the crescent moon kind of looks like Sailor Moon, but this character looks so familiar to me. Weblight Dreams, if you're listening, was this inspired by something? Perhaps, I don't know, the wings are giving me card captors? If I were ever to do a Draw the Senior style recreation of anything in this book, this one is calling my name. Love this dragon guarding his hoard of treasure. Oh, guarding her egg, it says. Oh yes, there's the egg. Again with the limited line work in the face, so you can complete this however you want. And then after all of the full page, we do have some swatch preview pages. That's a really cool idea. You can rough in your colors, figure out what you want to do with it before actually working on the main page. And then there's some intentionally blank pages back here, and I love this. It says here you can use these to try out coloring styles, color palettes, and more. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to test the different mediums I might use in a coloring book on these blank pages, just so that I can get a feel for what an Amazon printed coloring book is like and strategize, figure out how I would color it. So let's go ahead, do some swatching on those blank pages, figure out what medium I would like to use, and then I will go into time-lapse and actually finish one of these pieces. A bit of a warning here, I guess, for people who are just stopping by for a review of the book. When we get into time-lapse, I am going to just start rambling at the camera, talking to my regular subscribers. Feel free to mute it for a while. I will give a final opinion on the book at the end of that. Right now, first impression before I've actually colored it, This is beautiful. I love it that it's all on one theme. It's all fantasy characters. I love the fact that it's very manga anime style influenced, but it's entirely Weblight Dreams' own style. It doesn't feel like copies of anything else. For the price, I do think that 24 full pages of coloring like this is absolutely worth it. It does say on the copyright page that you are allowed to scan and copy for your own use. So if you like these coloring pages, but the paper doesn't end up being what you want to use in the medium you want to use for that page or at all, you would be free to copy it to better paper. Now, when I say better paper, please understand that that's not shade at the book or at Weblight Dreams or anything like that. I know that there are limitations with Kindle Amazon printing. I know that it's primarily made for print books, not necessarily to be used for coloring books and notebooks and stuff, but a market has evolved for that. Primarily, I think that my coloring book adventures are always going to be in colored pencil, and I do have the 24 pack of Derwent Chromaflow that I haven't tried yet. Most likely at this point, the full piece that I'm going to time-lapse after this is going to be in these pencils because I want to get a piece under my belt with these before I do a review on these. You know me, I have other favorite mediums as well. We're gonna see how this paper handles alcohol ink, we're going to see how it handles water-based ink, and we're going to see how it handles watercolor. Just because of how my desk is oriented at the moment, we're going to turn this upside down. I'm going to put a piece of cardstock behind because obviously this is going to make a bit of a mess. First, let's go colored pencil. This is working pretty well. I'm not at all surprised. Most papers are going to work well for colored pencil, at least as far as coloring book purposes are going to go. With light pressure here, there's some paper grain coming through. That's pretty normal for colored pencils. It's not too bad. It's not super toothy like a watercolor paper, but it's definitely not super smooth. This is not Bristol. Start applying more pressure, see how well these are going to blend. Obviously, if I were trying to do a super good job in colored pencil, I would take a lot longer, but with just a quick swatch, that does blend nicely. I'm happy to use colored pencil on this sort of paper. Out of curiosity, let's just see what colored pencil like this on this kind of paper does with an alcohol marker. Yep, that's about what I expect. Let's see, water-based ink just directly applied with the nib. That goes down nicely. It's not immediately falling apart, so these aren't going to chew up the paper if you're careful. What about the other nib? Does feel a bit rougher with a fine nib. There we've got the pilling. If I went for too long, I would eat through it. That is a downside of using water-based markers. Oh, I did eat through it. I colored on the cardstock. Look at that. I expected that. I would expect that in most coloring books. Coloring books that aren't specifically formulated for a water-based ink. For curiosity's sake, let's try activating that, spreading it around. Okay, it's not doing a whole lot. I might have left it on the page too long. Let's get some fresh. Also, not doing a whole lot. Other method I would use with water-based marker. We get a non-porous surface. I like to use a ceramic plate. Then we get our wet paintbrush. We pick it back up. That is doing some interesting dotting. It's not picking up the pigment evenly. We'll come back and see what that looks like when it dries. Since we've got a wet paintbrush, let's see what actual watercolor does on this page. Okay, this is extremely thirsty paper. Even actual Cotman watercolor is not going to continue to spread after that initially goes down on the page. And last but not least, what does an alcohol marker do on this? So it colors nice enough. Unlike the water-based, it's not eating up the paper when we put several layers down. And when you put several layers down, you do get rid of the overlapping effect. All very typical with alcohol markers. It has gone through, it has actually started to color the cardstock under it. Based on how these perform though, I'm curious, will this blend with another color on this paper? I've put too many layers down, it's gotten too dark. Something that's definitely a downside about alcohol markers in general is if you're not using really, really smooth, not at all thirsty paper, you're going to get a huge variation in tone when you layer up. It's going to get darker and darker and darker. I was able to achieve a blend in there, but I also got a lot darker than the original layer in this really nice mid-tone blue. So I guess in conclusion, my recommendation for coloring in an Amazon printed coloring book is to rely on that colored pencil. Alright, Jenna from far too far in the future here, re-recording this voiceover part because it's been too long. Excuse my voice sounding different, I'll address that in a sec. Again, if you guys are just here for the review part, feel free to mute me and just watch the coloring process. I really do think that this is a great coloring book. I do think you should check it out. I give it 5 stars out of 5. Great book. Now that I've colored it, I stand by what I said. I love how there's just enough detail here to get the idea of what you're going to be coloring, but the lines don't get in your way. You have a lot of freedom to add the detail you want to add. So I started recording this in like mid-November, and that was getting into midterm round 2, which got crazy, and about the same time my daughter got one of the flus that's going around and shared it with us. That's why my voice sounds like this. I haven't really been able to completely shake it. Like, I feel fine. Cough is mostly gone, but my throat has not recovered. I don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, it was right before second round of midterms, which went straight into final assignments for the semester, which went straight into final exams, and meanwhile everybody is sharing in some viruses going around. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law got the virus. They're fine, and fortunately their 10-month-old did not get it from him. And like, it was about the same time that I was at the worst of whatever we had, and like, we were all kind of describing the same symptoms, but I wasn't testing positive for that. So like, I don't know, maybe I tested at the wrong time. Maybe I had the virus too. Who knows? What have I been up to? Well, if you missed my prior updates before I accidentally went totally radio silent, I've gone back to school. I am doing a business administration program. I registered for general. I'm now trying to switch it to accounting because that is definitely the direction I want to go. I'm really enjoying it. I actually have 5 of my 6 final grades back at this point. The HR grade isn't in yet because we just wrote that final. She is forgiven, and yeah, so far I have a perfect 4.0 GPA. I'm loving it. I'm doing well. I really do want to continue doing YouTube. I really do want to continue making art and sharing it with you guys and having discussions and all that. I definitely found that I was a lot busier than I expected this semester. Like, yeah, I said I would be doing at least 1 video a week, and I wanted to do streams, and I thought that that would be great. I thought that, you know, I could just take little half-hour breaks here and there throughout the day, push everything aside, start doing art. Well,
little did he know that this simple, seemingly innocuous act would result in his imminent death.
What? What? Hey! Hello? What?
yeah. Turns out that I barely had the time I needed while my daughter was away at school every day, and when I did have time for a break, I didn't want to completely switch gears and do something else I was really focusing on. I wanted to watch some shorts or play a bit of a mobile game. And now that I've had a semester and I know what's happening, and next semester should be a little bit less work because there's only 1 mathy course and not 2. This semester, I'm hoping I can actually work this into my schedule. Like, I'm actually going to try to put it in my agenda and work it into my schedule because I don't want to go another 6 months before putting out anything but an update. I do want to continue the No Box Art Box challenge, and I think that will probably be the easiest for me to schedule in. That and like the limited color challenges, like the colors of the month and the Karen colors. I miss doing those. I really miss doing those. I would like to review the art products I continued to buy because of course I did. You know I did. I finally did have enough saved up with my blogging gift cards to get the full, well, the 108 full set of the Tombow dual brush markers. The 108 set because like I know there's a few more pastel colors. The difference in price on the 2 sets was just not worth it to wait. The 108 went on sale, and last year, I bought a special Christmas bundle from Tombow, and it included a 6-piece dual brush pack, and 3 of them are colors that aren't in the 108, so like I almost have the full the new full set anyway. It's okay. Maybe eventually I'll get those missing colors. I would like to do some pieces with just that set and review it. You're seeing me right now use the Derwent Chromaflow 24 pencils. I would like to give a full review on those, and this is my first run with them. This is my dry run. By the way, yes, you will have noticed very early in this time-lapse footage that the pencil arrangement disappeared. That's because when I started coloring this, I stopped for a night to study, and I had the pencils that I was using flipped the other way in the pack. I had them turned upside down, but I had the pencils I was like actively using on that section in the lid, so I couldn't put the lid back on the container, so I like layered them on top but didn't like actually put the lid on, and then I knocked the whole thing off my desk while I was studying twice. So yeah, I don't have those pencils out anymore. As I go back in to finish now, I'm going to have to figure out which pencils those were, maybe watch my previous footage to figure out which ones those were. If you're still here to watch me, to watch my channel, please tell me what you want to see. Tell me how often you want to see me. Tell me if you'd like some videos that are just coloring something and telling you how the semester goes, or if you want videos that are, you know, serious about art, because I can do either one, I think, I hope. Like I said, I am going to try to actually schedule it into my semester now, but like, I don't know. I don't really know where to go with this. I really want to get back into this, back into YouTube. I miss it. I definitely think I kind of, like back in the summer when I took a break, a much needed break, I gave myself permission to stop, and I need to give myself permission to start again. And that's what this was supposed to be, but it's taken me almost a month to finish this video. So sorry, Dora. I really do love your book. I really do love this. I am so sorry that I let the semester get the best of me after I teased that I was doing this soon. Merry Christmas. It's finally done. But anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming back and sticking this out with me. If you actually listened to this part, in the comments down below, I don't know, say accounting. Say accounting. Confuse everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a good one. If you don't celebrate, well, have a great and safe end of December. I hope everyone has a happy new year. I probably won't produce a new video before the end of 2022 because, well, Christmas is going to be crazy with visiting and all that kind of stuff. But I really do hope to see you in January. Please hold me to it. Like, go comment on the latest video or the latest community post or something and summon me back. Yes, thank you. This book is great. Love it. Here you're seeing my finished piece in Weblight Dreams' book. It's gorgeous. I hope you like it. I hope you will check out her book. I will be linking the companion written version of this review down below in the description. I've got a blog post about it as well. Check it out. Thank you. See you guys in 2023.